Happy day and welcome to this introductory session on project management, a subject that has its application in across gamuts of management studies and in your workspace also. I'm Dr. Anuradha Prashant with the Department of Management Studies, and we'll be going through this lecture in a series of time. So at the end of this 15-minute session, we're going to look at what are your objectives or what would be the learning outcomes. You would be able to identify and have a better understanding of what project management as a subject and its application would be like, what is its importance and relevance in organizational strategy, some key terminologies which you should be aware of as a practitioner of this subject, and your role as a project manager. If you're looking at a career in project management, then what would be the kind of job functions that you would be doing and some certain skill sets that are required. First, to begin with, we will look at characteristics or key features that define a project management. So there are three clear distinguishing features which define a project as one. The first being that there is a definite start and an end point. Most of the work that we do has a definite start point, but probably not a definite end point. But in case of a project, you would be able to clearly define a definite start and a definite end point. The second is the project completion is based on either task or a time-based completion, or sometimes a mix of both. Either the task is completed or there is a time-bound deadline, or a combination of both. The third is it always attempts at setting up new processes. So when we are looking at repeating a process, it is more of a systematic process upgradation that we are doing. A project, on the contrary, looks at establishing a new process. How most of us may wonder, what is the importance of project in an organization? How does it play a role in the strategy execution? So how we see is this. At the top level, we have the organizational strategy that is being defined as a vision and a mission statement, which is translated into a set of portfolios which are given to managers. These portfolios are further broken down into projects and programs. A compilation of programs makes a project, and a compilation of programs makes a portfolio. A number of portfolios make up the organization strategy. So at the bottommost level, you find that projects and programs work as the building blocks of strategy execution. Unless they are done efficiently, the organizational strategy is not executed or is not seen through in an efficient way. This establishes the importance of project management in any organization, big or small. So we see at three levels. At an organizational strategy level, the organization looks at increasing the overall business value. So it is led by businesses, it is led by certain kind of goal alignment. At the second level, which is the portfolio and the program management level, we are looking at stakeholder management. The stakeholders could be customers, could be suppliers, could be employees, could be business partners. We are looking at individual of them as programs, as portfolios, and we look at management of stakeholder. At the intrinsic level of project management, we are looking at delivering high quality, both in a time-bound way and in a task-bound way, so as to ensure successful completion of organizational goals. We will see the clear differences across these three, which is a project, a program, and a portfolio. These are the three key terminologies in project management that you would keep coming across, and it is important to differentiate between them. Certain key aspects are projects are short-term, definitive, so there is a definitive outcome, and you would see that there is a limited applicability across the organizations. They work in a time-bound and a task-bound way, whereas programs are slightly more broader in concept, more medium-term as far as the time factor goes by, and portfolios work more in a medium to a long-term range. What is important to us as practitioners of management is, how does this help in forecasting? If we look at projects, It raises early warnings. It gives you a kind of a clear picture on whether there is a deviation from the normal. So it is very quick to pinpoint a fact that we are not working in alignment towards an organization's overall goals when a project misfires. So as practitioners of management, both in the digital and in the offline space, it is very important to adopt certain key practices of project management which provides us early warnings which will help us to retrace and align them back to the organizational goals. We will look at an example. For example, there is a company called ABC Clothing Company, and they are looking at an organizational goal of increasing business value, maybe from 100 crores to 200 crores. They have identified certain areas, portfolios for development. They want to become more tech savvy, more online, more nimble in terms of technology adoption. They are also wanting to attract more the younger customers by looking at teenage clothing. They are also working on the cost front by reducing inventory costs and probably working on the CRM, the customer relationship front, by increasing user satisfaction. So the top line, if you see the first one, is the overall strategy, which is the business value that the company wants to grow through its portfolios, which is by making IT more efficient, by looking at the realignment of customer markets, and also by reducing costs and increasing customer satisfaction. So how do we translate portfolios identified to programs and projects? So let's take one, which is how do I make IT more efficient? That is the portfolio which is given to the systems department. So they take a program or they create a program which could include multiple programs like refreshing infrastructure, maybe upgradation of desktops, maybe adding in more software, maybe moving it to the digital cloud. So there could be multiple programs. We are looking at a couple of them, which is refreshing infrastructure. Now, under refreshing infrastructure, they take two projects, which is replacing network architecture. It could include the physical wiring, it could include the routers and the internet systems, etc. And also upgradation of desktops. Again, this could be both at the office level, it could also be at the business partner level. So we are looking at how an overall business strategy or an organizational strategy of increasing in business value translates or trickles down into a final project, which could be something as simple as replacing network architecture in a 2 months time frame, or it could be upgradation of desktops in a given budget in a time span of say 3 months or a quarter. So because of the multiplicity of levels that it works at, there are obviously innumerable challenges a project manager or the project management team faces also. So how do we manage this? The answer is the PMO. It's not just the Prime Minister's office, we're talking about the Project Management Office. It is an entity in every organization which helps to align these 3 Ps. The 3 Ps namely projects, programs and portfolio, and it helps to move an organization towards its vision. There are certain aspects of running an organization which are more the domain of support functions like HR, or it could be some kind of a function that only gives support to the project management team. So they are also there, so cultural influences and human resource practices, etc. These aspects support in the actual delivery of the organization's goals also. So what would your role be as a project manager? If you are a project manager, it begins with understanding and defining the scope of a project. You need to identify who are your key stakeholders and create a stakeholder management team. You need to set deadlines. As we said, projects are time bound. You need to set deadlines and monitor progress. Then you also have crisis management. So any project does have certain extraneous factors beyond the control of a project manager, and it is up to the project manager to rise up to the occasion and manage the crisis. We also have budget management. Resources are scarce and therefore efficient deployment of resources is necessary. And we also look at evaluation. So a project management also helps to understand how we are going, where we are going, how much we have covered, and this is done through evaluation practices. And we are going to look finally at the skill sets which a project manager requires. So the first and the foremost is the communication skills that are required because of the multiple levels at which the project manager is going to interact at. We are also looking at leadership skills because they need to take responsibility of a project, take initiative, drive the team and motivate the team. And we are also looking at skills like adaptability, forecasting, problem solving, and delegation skills. So there are also these skills which are absolutely necessary to become a successful project manager, to move from merely executing a project to actually successfully executing a project. You need these skills along with being accountable to the top management. So in this short series of introduction, we have established the importance of project management as a subject. We have also looked at how one can become an efficient project manager. In the future sessions, we will be looking at each of these in detail so as to understand and apply the subject more wholesomely. Thank you for joining us.